The Indianapolis 500 is in the record books and Buddy Rice is $1.7 million richer. But the Indy Racing League has everything to play for. Coming up tonight under the lights of the high-banked oval of the 1.5-mile Texas Motor Speedway, it's the Bombardier 500. Hello and a warm welcome to round 5 of the 2004 Indy Racing League season. I'm Matthew Lorenzo, your host for tonight's 500-kilometre race from the fabulous Texas Speedway, known for its close finishes and side-by-side racing. Now that the Indy 500 is over, the teams can settle down to a tough schedule, which will take them the length and breadth of the USA. To give an insight into the race, I'm joined by our resident IRL expert, Paul Cherry, and with him is racing driver Johnny Kane, one of the few Britons with experience of racing on American ovals. Johnny has raced wheel to wheel with a number of the drivers we'll be seeing in tonight's race. I'll be talking to them in a minute, but first, let's check out the headlines. Great news for British fans after his Indianapolis disappointment. Dario Franchitti puts his Andretti green Honda on pole. He leads a group of Honda-powered cars at the front end of the grid. While his teammate and championship leader Dan Wheldon, after his great podium finish at Indy, starts down on the 6th row in 12th position on that grid. Those are the headlines. We'll speak to our guests a little later, but now it's time to cross to the track and check on the grid positions.
Dario Franchitti driving for the Team Andretti Green organization. We'll have that number 27 on the pole position inside the front row. And alongside your winner 2 weeks ago at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Buddy Rice, starts in position number 2. In the second row, a former winner this season, Tony Kanaan, also for Andretti Green, starts inside row 2. And outside, your leading rookie qualifier, it's Matsura, starting in the 4th position. Then Brian Herta, again for Andretti Green, will start in the 5th position inside row 3. And outside, Elio Castroneves, the best Toyota, starting in the 6th position. Another rookie starts inside row 4, Ed Carpenter for the Red Bull Cheever Racing entry. And outside, former Rookie of the Year at the Indy Motor Speedway, Thomas Schechter in number 4. In row 5 on the inside, Adrian Fernandez from Mexico City. Starting outside, rookie Mark Taylor from London, England. In the 6th row on the inside, a 2-time winner at this racetrack, 2-time series champion Sam Hornish for Penske. And outside, Dan Wheldon, the winner at Motegi this season. In the 7th row, Vito Mira driving for the Rahal Letterman entry, and outside Darren Manning in car number 10. In the 8th row on the inside, Greg Ray from nearby Plano, Texas. The Access Motorsports entry, and outside Scott Dixon, the defending series champion. The 9th row on the inside, A.J. Foyt IV from Hockley, Texas in number 14, and outside Torres Tagi in number 12. The 10th row on the inside, number 24 is Felipe Giafoni in the Team Purex Dreyer Reinbold entry. And last year's champion of this event, Al Unser Jr. in the Patrick Racing stable. The 11th and final row, Scott Sharp, a 2-time winner here at Texas. And outside, Alex Barron driving for Team Cheever.
And Alex Barron had problems. He broke a gearbox qualifying. That's the reason he's starting last. This is a 500-kilometer race, 200 laps. Of course, Dario Franchitti starting up front. The pit window is going to be about 50 laps, 48 to 52, depending on how many yellows and so forth. They could go as far as maybe 58 if they had a lot of yellow lap times. 31 degrees centigrade. It's a very, very hot day, and the wind is going to be a factor. These things can get blown around quite a bit if it gets to be real windy down here.
Well, it's also very humid, Larry, which makes it feel like it's a tad warmer than 31 degrees.
Yes, and it's rained here a lot. There's mud puddles everywhere because of all the rain, and that's added to the humidity, and that does affect the cars too.
Once again, the field starts to take shape now as we go on board with Scott Dixon starting back in the 16th position. Might be kind of fun to watch what he can do from back there. And there's a Mark Taylor. He'll be starting in 10th, the rookie driver here. And there's a look at Thomas Schechter. He's starting in the 8th position in the Panther Pennzoil Racing entry. And there's Scott Sharp, a 2-time winner here, but he's starting way back at the back of the pack. And there's Darren Manning starting in the 14th position. And there is your winner 2 weeks ago, starting outside the pole, Buddy Rice. And the pace car pulls off. We should have the green this time by. They go through the gearbox. The green flag is flying, and we are underway. Still side by side through that corner. Now Buddy Rice has the lead over Tony Kanaan.
The first half of the field got a very good start. The last half, for some reason, all got bunched up back there and did not get a good start. So two distinct groups on the racetrack right now.
And they're still racing side by side.
You can see right now they've mostly broken off into single file, but a couple of guys still running side by side. Castroneves and Herta right there.
So Franchitti got the jump. We said Rice, it was Franchitti, but then it was the Kanaan team car, number 11. They're in second. The teammates run 1-2, and look at this early battle for second position as Rice takes the high groove, side by side off the corner, and Rice may have stuck his nose up there. Look how close it is.
Well, this is what we've come accustomed to seeing here at Texas, is that side-by-side racing. Rice could not make it past that time. You'll notice a lot of sparks coming off the bottom of the cars. That's because of this new configuration. They had to raise the cars up some, and they've got titanium skid pads under them, so when they hit those bumps, they do throw off some sparks.
Rice comes back at Kanaan again, side by side across the start-finish line.
Look at
Matsura back there in fourth position.
Yeah, Matsura looked like he might try to go to the bottom side and see what he could do down there, but then he thought better of it and just stayed in line.
Well, I tell you what, you cannot measure what an Indy 500 win will do for your
confidence. That's the word. Yeah, he really. Right now, Buddy Rice is getting off of turn number 2 and down that back straightaway really well. Then he goes through 3 and 4, but getting into turn number 1, he's not getting into turn number 1 very well, and he loses everything he gains.
Back there with Thomas Scheckter right now in the 7th position. There's Herta and Castroneves up there. That's Castroneves directly in front of Scheckter. Herta's down low to the left.
Yeah, and you can see that Scheckter
look at Carpenter. You see Carpenter's nose on the inside. That's the rookie Ed Carpenter trying to take that position away from Scheckter.
And those two guys
battle for 7th.
Boy, Carpenter looks really good. Oh, Scheckter had to get out of the throttle right there. He got a little bit high. Had to get out of the throttle. That'll cost him. He lost another spot down the back straightaway.
Hornish right behind Scheckter.
Oh.
And this glare, look at the glare, Larry.
Dixon had to get out of the throttle big time right there, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time, too.
So up in front, it's still Franchitti.
Yeah, Franchitti, Kanaan, Rice, those guys maintain the same. Now we've got a challenge for second.
Look at the scramble for position down the backstretch. 2, 3 wide.
Matsura.
And look at Scheckter on the high side. He's way up there.
Matsura moved into third. He got around Buddy Rice. So,
well, Scheckter now is in 9th. 10th is Weldon. Hornish is 11th. And you're riding along looking at the back of the Scheckter number 4. Now you're riding along with Rice. Rice looks up to the battle for second position.
And look at Matsura. Now he goes to the outside of Kanaan. This is the same move that Buddy Rice tried, and it ended up costing him third spot. And Matsura's out there. He's having the same trouble that Buddy Rice had.
So here comes Rice on the inside.
Cannot get through turns 1 and 2, or as nearly as well as he can turns 3 and 4.
Look how high the Marlboro cars were, along with Scheckter coming off that corner. Got very close to the outside wall.
Yeah, Castroneves been running that high line the whole race. Has not been able to make it work for him yet, as he's just hasn't been able to pass anybody out there.
Ito Mira and Scheckter were side by side for 8th position. Now you look back at the Matsura back there in 4th. Rice is 3rd, and Rice tucks right in behind Kanaan. So two teammates from Andretti Green run 1-2, Franchitti and Kanaan.
Matsura tried to go a little, almost 3 wide there. We've seen Hornish do that one time here at this racetrack, but it doesn't happen very often, and it doesn't work very often either.
Look at them stacked up behind Rice, side by side, 2 by 2 down the backstretch. Castroneves now has gotten around Carpenter for 6th position. Carpenter drops to 7th. 8th is Scheckter. 9th is Mira. And 10th now is Hornish. And there's a look at Hornish in car number 6.
He's back there battling with Fernandez, trying to move up, but just so far that outside groove has not worked the way he'd like. Now then, coming through that onto the back straightaway. Looked like he made it quite a bit of gain.
As they keep running that high groove and laying some rubber down, that high groove may come in as the race continues.
Well, we've seen Hornish do that time after time after time. The outside groove has always been his favorite place to run. He just passed 2 cars right there as he went around Manning and Fernandez both, right on that high side down in 3 and 4.
Well, we expected him to make a move early on, did not qualify all that well. In fact, Hornish began this race in the 11th starting position.
Wow, look
now
at
Hornish
that.
is still 11th.
Buddy Rice going into turn number 3 just went to the high side and just blew by Kanaan.
Now he sets his sights on the high side of Franchitti as they work on lap number 15. Franchitti is led from the starting green.
Well, you can see the guys down in the pits. They're taking calculations, looking at the laps they've run, just to make sure everything's going well.
Well, now on lap 15, it is Franchitti leading Rice, Kanaan, Matsuura, Herta, and Mira. And the battle is still up in front as Franchitti tries to hang on to that #1 spot under pressure from Buddy Rice.
July on Sky Sports.
Brazil challenge in the Copa America.
Arsenal in the Amsterdam tournament.
The NatWest series between England, the West Indies and New Zealand continues.
The 2020 Cup.
And Sri Lanka's tour of Australia.
Counting down to the Olympics in Golden League Athletics.
The Tri-Nations Series.
World Championship Pool and Darts. The Las Vegas Desert Classic and World Match Play.
European and US Tour Golf, including the Smurfit European Open and the Buick Open.
July on Sky Sports. It's unmissable.
If you sell your car and don't send off the vehicle registration certificate with the new owner's details, guess who'll still be liable for the car tax and the fine for not paying it? The new vehicle registration rules. Are you up to date?
Last train. Not so bad.
Last train.
Not so bad at all.
Welcome to the Latin Quarter.
The things I do to hydrate my skin. At least keeping my hair and scalp hydrated to doddle.
Quench your thirsty hair with Head & Shoulders Hydrating Smooth and Silky. Has 3 types of hydrating ingredients, washes out 100% of flakes.
Soft, shiny, no dandruff hair.
Hydrating Smooth and Silky from Head & Shoulders.
Invent one for my skin, please.
Introducing the new Flash Duster. It cleans everywhere dust settles. The soft and fluffy fibres trap and lock the dust away. Here too, even on uneven surfaces. It's amazing. Because it's lightweight and flexible, the duster can clean everywhere. One swipe, and it's clean. Flash does the hard work, so you don't have to.
The steam from Rowenta's unique high-pressure system penetrates right into the heart of your fabrics with the Rowenta Perfect Iron. The perfect iron from Rowenta for perfect ironing, as approved by the Good Housekeeping Institute.
They say tonight's black tie. Let's go. Hugo, your fragrance, your rules.
Everybody, well, the first 15 cars are all just nose to tail, basically. I mean, they're all got a chance right now. This is why Texas is mentally probably one of the toughest tracks on the circuit, because you never get a chance to rest. You always got so many cars around you. You're always trying to make sure you do everything exactly right, because any very, very small mistake is could be disastrous here.
Well, in 2 weeks from now, we head on to Richmond, which is a smaller racetrack than this. You're talking about being busy.
Right. Physically, Richmond might be a little tougher. Mentally, I think this place is probably
higher speed.
It's just because the higher speeds, because you're running side by side so much with everybody, and a very small mistake can put you both into the wall.
You know, you really have to tip your hat to Ken Green and Michael Andretti to field 4 cars and to remain this competitive with all 4 entries.
Absolutely. Look at Vito Mira. He's come from 13th up there to run 5th. He's really come a long way.
Well, as you said, he passed the most cars at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway 2 weeks ago, but had that penalty which forced him to go at the back of the pack. And once again, here's Kanaan on the high side, and he may have him down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looked like he got a great run off of turn number 2. That seems to be the key here at Texas today. If you can get off of turn number 2 and get a good run down the back straightaway, you can make the pass going into turn number 3. But the whole key is getting off of turn number 2. It must be that bump down there in between 1 and 2 that's causing everybody to have a problem.
And there goes Buddy Rice on the high side of Franchitti.
You see a little farther back.
That's Weldon and Barron. Weldon on the red and white on the high side. Alex Barron on the low side.
He's now running in 13th. Remember, he started dead last. He broke a gearbox while qualifying. Did not get a qualifying.
Whoa, we almost took out 2 target cars in one fell swoop there. Man, that was close.
The boss would have not been happy had that happened, but those 2 guys are really struggling back there trying to gain some speed, but they're back in 14th and 15th and really struggling to make up time. Look at this, 3 abreast going in there.
3 wide into the corner.
Look at Schechter. He just doesn't look back. That's Carpenter on the inside. Schechter on the outside here.
This is the battle for 9th position.
Uh-oh. Boy. He got out. I thought he got loose there. He got way out of the throttle as that thing got up there. I thought he saw him wiggle the wheel, but he must just have seen the yellow and climbed out of the throttle.
Well, of course, the yellow light also goes on the dashboard as well.
Looks like, is that wing?
A little contact there.
Yeah, made some contact.
Darren Manning. That may have been some contact when they got so close earlier.
Well,
I think we'll have a replay here of exactly what happened. We did not see it from our vantage point. Oh, here it is right here.
Oh, he just smoked her up in there.
Car.
Yeah, he just smoked her up in there and ran into the back of Alex Barron. Got a run on him and just couldn't get out of the throttle in time. Now they're definitely going to have to come in and do something on that wing. I mean, he can run, but he's not going to run very fast with that wing like that, because it's going to put a lot of lift on that left front instead of downforce, the way that wing is.
Well, we're going to see probably the entire field in the pit area once that pit area is opened up.
26 laps, so they'll all head into the pit area to make their pit stop. They're not going to pass up too many. They get 8 sets of tires. It's a brand new right rear tire that Firestone has designed for this racetrack this year. So it hasn't been any trouble. They're very happy with it, but they'll all be coming in on his first chance to change tires and make any adjustments that they need.
We've had 2 leaders so far today. Dario Franchitti from the pole position led the first 22 laps. And just before this yellow, Tony Kanaan went by for the lead on lap 23. And now everybody heads for pit road.
Well, as close as these cars are, the pit stops become oh so important. Boy, a miscue in here by either the crew or the driver can cost you big time out there on the racetrack. Track position is so important. Uh-oh, look at that.
Just a slight miscue right there. He may have lost a couple of positions.
Yeah, it took him just a second to get that overflow.
Traffic jam coming out.
The overflow out of there, and it cost him a little time in the pits.
Of course, the Manning crew, the Target Ganassi crew, can make the necessary changes under yellow, so he should be able to remain on the lead lap.
Yeah. Looks like they put a whole new nose on that thing. With new wings, or at least new wings on it, because he's got the new nose piece on there.
So Kanaan will retain the top spot on the pit stops. Now wait, let's check that.
I don't think so. He did not get out first.
Timing and scoring is still showing Kanaan as the leader, but
now he's
Buddy Rice back there.
That's Buddy Rice. I think there must be Matt Sura that won the pit stop contest there.
So we'll sort out this restart after this the pit stop under yellow, as we have completed 27 laps here in Texas.
Well, we're just discussing here, as you rejoin us, welcome by the way, what actually happened there, because I presumed that the damage to the car was the yellow flag incident, but you say it actually was a result of the yellow flag.
When the yellow flag was thrown, it appeared that Darren touched the back of Alex just because he got off the throttle that momentarily after Alex had, and he slowed up earlier, and obviously that's where they touched. I think we'll find that they threw the yellow just for debris.
Right.
Which is the reason they look for little rocks and things if somebody's got a cut tyre.
Well, Darren exited the Indy 500 in spectacular stars. The last thing he wanted was this.
Yes, the position he was in, he didn't need that. But however, because there was a yellow, they were able to come in and make a pit stop. They'll have a new nose on that and fuel it in the same time as changing the tyres. So I don't think he's lost out that badly.
Well, we can look at it again here. And this is one driver braking before another.
Basically, yes. You don't get a clear line of sight, and some people are very hard on the brakes and some people aren't.
Johnny, you've been there, done it, and all the rest of it. Now, I was saying to you earlier on, this is open wheel racing, but these guys don't seem to know or care.
Well, I mean, they do get very, very close, and there's a lot of trust involved, you know, with other drivers. You have to know that they're going to stay online when you're running that close on the outside, and I mean, they have to trust that you're not going to come down too low and hit them either. Travelling at those speeds, if you do contact, it can be disastrous.
It's a question of where you hit as well. It isn't just everywhere you touch you're in trouble.
No, I mean, you can touch side to side and get away with it, but obviously if you touch wheel to wheel, there's so much rotation it just throws the car in the air, and you know, once one of these cars is airborne, it can go anywhere.
Still under a yellow. So if we didn't see a collision, and we have been watching this, where did they get the debris from?
They get reports from all around the track from the various marshal stations, and they say, okay, there's a little bit of something. They are very, very cautious, because at the speeds these guys are travelling, the smallest stone or piece of plastic can rupture a tyre with disastrous consequences. So, you know, it is very much the safe thing to do.
And everybody's now fueled up. Everybody's got a new set of remolds.
Yeah, it's almost like the start of another race. So, you know, it hasn't really changed the strategy for anyone at the moment. I don't think it's too early for that. But, you know, Dario looks like he's got some pretty good speed, and so does Tony. And, you know, them being teammates, they'll probably try and work together and try and keep at the front and dominate and do what they want to do, really.
Keeping at the front, it's good and bad, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, you have all the air in front of you, and you create a hole for the people behind you. That's why they all stay so close. You know, you can draft so much in one of these cars. It makes, you know, 10-15 miles per hour difference, and that's what makes it great racing.
Okay, let's get back to Texas and rejoin our commentary team.
They are harder to drive, and that's good. It puts the driver back into the equation some. These cars aren't sucked to the ground near as tight. They lack about 400 pounds of downforce less than they had last year, so that makes them a little harder to drive, makes the driver drive them a little harder, and that I think that helps, because when a guy makes a mistake and has to lift out of the throttle, he loses all that momentum, and it takes you a while to get that back up. So it's all about keeping your foot down, being brave enough to do that. Now look at Kanaan.
Back up in front, here comes Tony Kanaan. No team orders in this organization. Side by side, and Rice has a bird's eye view right back there in third position. Still side by side for the lead.
Yeah, you can see Rice. He's trying to feel, oh no, he's going to make it three abreast. He thought about it. He tried to make it three abreast. He just didn't have room. One thing about Texas, Brian Barnhart starters warned them, no blocking. This is a very hard place to pass if a guy's blocking. So you notice going down that back straightaway, especially when they come off of there, they don't come off and go clear to the wall. The guys on the inside stay pretty low, and they don't want to give a guy a chance to get in underneath them.
Well, Kanan's going to get Scheckter in the pit area. Unscheduled pit stop for Thomas Scheckter.
Sounds like Scheckter, they're going to change. Now, something else going on. I thought they were going to change tires, but he's got a problem.
Something happened on the restart.
Oh, right there.
Contact. That was on the restart a couple of laps ago. Look at this.
Well, we said he got 3 wide, and boy, he did. He got hit.
Oh, how lucky are those two guys not to be airborne when they interlock the wheels.
Man, oh man, that was unbelievable. That was some pretty heavy contact.
Well, Kanan and teammate Franchitti going at it right now. Kanan gets credit for leading one more lap.
Well, Scheckter, he had no idea Scheckter was on the outside of him, and they made contact. I'm surprised they both don't have problems after that contact.
Or they both didn't develop a huge wreck out there. That could have been nasty.
Yeah, could have.
Scheckter leaves the pit area again.
Yeah, all his.
The inside comes Franchitti, who's going to lead this lap. Well, still Kanan. Look at Mira. Mira on the high side for 3rd position.
Vito Mira just went around his teammates, so Vito Mira from 13th to 3rd now.
There's a look at Greg Ray in the Access Motorsports number 13. Notice the absence of sponsorship logos on that race car.
It's Manning. He's on the outside of Darren Manning right now, trying to get by Manning.
And we have a crash. The second yellow of the afternoon. That is A.J. Foyt.
Look out, he's heading down to the inside. It looks like everybody's going to make it around now, but he's obviously, there's no brakes on that thing. Once you hit the wall, knock the wheels off of them, breaks all the brake lines, and you're just along for the ride. The cables did do their jobs. All the wheels are still with the race car. Of course, that was a huge problem early on in the IRL, those wheels coming off. And there you can see.
Look at Grandpa.
He's as soon as he finds out if his grandson is okay,
then he'll start yelling at him.
Yeah, then he'll start yelling at him. But and everybody wants to make sure a driver's okay after hard contact like that. Obviously, got in the wall pretty hard. He's very concerned at this point, but looks like he's talking to him on the radio. Hopefully, he's talking to him on the radio. He's talking to somebody on the radio.
You wonder what they talk about at family gatherings.
Hard to tell.
We talked about that 2 weeks ago at the Speedway, Larry, how difficult it would be to drive for A.J. Foyt as his grandson and as the car owner.
Well, A.J. Foyt can be one of the toughest guys in the world. I mean, he can just really be a ornery son of a gun. But at the same time, he can be a very compassionate guy. We went to a memorial service for former driver Johnny Boyd, and A.J. gave a little eulogy, and it was he's a very compassionate guy away from the racetrack, but boy, at the racetrack he is very tough.
The backboard was out but will not be employed as A.J. climbs out under his own power.
Well, that's always good news to see a guy actually walking away from a crash like that.
See what happens. Well, it looked like he got across the back of somebody.
Yeah, it looked like he hit somebody. The left front wheel of that thing was off before he ever got into the wall. So he might have hit somebody in the rear end, or either that or the suspension broke, because the left front wheel was off before he ever got to the wall.
Dr. Henry Bach, the medical director, is in that unit right there as Foyt climbs in and takes a ride to the infield care center.
Oh, you want it, do you? Come on, then.
Oh, yeah. Have you had enough yet, boy? Yes!
Bring it on! Who's your mom and your daddy?
Oh, no.
Come on.
Yes! No! Come on! Yeah!
Player to player, house to house. New live play with 50 grand in prizes up for grabs. Press interactive and select Sky GameStar.
When we want to love, we love. When we want to kiss, we kiss. With a little petting, we're getting some fun out of life. When we want to dance, we dance. You can do your betting.
Clean, soft, and fresh. Let your senses decide. Bold 2-in-1.
Last train? Not so bad.
Last train?
Not so bad at all.
Bacardi, welcome to the Latin Quarter.
David Redshaw. Yeah? This, I believe, is yours. You left it in a bar the other night. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but when you consider that beer's a Heineken, it becomes a different matter. Come on, let me explain. See, David, Heineken has changed. It's now imported from Holland. We got rid of the 3.4%. It's now the 5% ABV you drink abroad. And why, David? We believe it makes our beer better. So when we see people not appreciating all the efforts we've gone to, it makes us kind of upset. Gentlemen, I think David knows what to do now. David, that's disgusting. Next time you order Heineken, just remember how it's made. Ah. What do we got? Paul Walters built this plant last Thursday. Let's go.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Bombardier 500. The second yellow flag out at the moment, and the second one, Paul, for a genuine incident. It wasn't just debris this time.
No, there was some debris after it, but certainly young AJ, again, I hate to keep saying it, but he's making a fair habit of having accidents. And this here, he had clearly just tripped up on Felipe Giaffoni. AJ had got shuffled to the back of the pack in that pit stop, so he was right at the back, and as you see, he just caught the rear tyre there of Felipe Giaffoni, and that caused him to hit the wall.
The way it's going, Johnny, there's not likely to be an AJ fight the 5th, is there?
Well, I mean, you see how far the car goes when it does have a problem. You know, that's when you realise just how quick these cars are travelling. You know, when everything's under control, it just, you know, feels normal. But as soon as you have a problem, you realise just how fast you're travelling.
I asked you earlier, why is it such a problem to go high?
Well, the outside of the circuit is generally more dirty than the inside, and obviously gives you less grip. So if the car does move around, you've less room then to correct it before you're in the wall. So you know, some drivers like taking the high line. It can sometimes help your car set up a little bit by running a bit higher rather than trying to keep really tight at the bottom of the circuit, but it does have its risks.
Having gone high and crashed, he was still in danger of causing another accident at the end of all that.
Yes, unfortunately, once you start knocking all the wheels off, you start becoming a passenger, and you're not responsible for the direction it takes. And as we saw, he did drop very, very low. Fortunately, it just then went back up to the wall, and there was no harm done. But when a car's having an accident, the first impact is the one you've got to look and follow from there on, because once you become a passenger, it's so dangerous.
Just caught a glimpse of the current race position. Tony Kanaan, your man, early days of course, out there in front.
Yeah, both the Andretti green cars at the front look really good, but you know, there's a lot of cars that are running quickly at the moment. No one's really got away from anyone at the moment, so I think we've got a good race ahead of us.
Should we have expected Dan Weldon to have made his move yet?
Well, actually, Dan is now up, when I last had a look on the computer, was running in 7th place. He did very, very well in the pit stops, as Johnny and I were just discussing. Andretti Green is so slick in the pits. They're probably the slickest team out there now. And that's what it is. It's track position, and he's now in the front half of the grid. So that'll help him. I think he'll probably get to the podium.
And what about rookie Japanese drivers? What's the state of play there?
Well, as we said at the beginning, I mean, the guy is just phenomenal, isn't he? He's dicing there, even with his own teammate, and, you know, not being silly about it, being very professional, and he's hanging in there in 4th place.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, very good showing. You know, if he can keep this up and get on the podium, it'll be a massive result for him.
Your old housemate, Dario, he's been at the front. He's obviously still in contention. Is he doing what somebody of his experience ought to be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been very unlucky so far this year. You know, he's shown in champ cars that he can win races, and he's been very fast in all the races up till now, including the Indy 500, qualified on the front row. So, you know, he knows he can do it. The team knows he can do it. So it's just a matter of putting it all together, and, you know, this weekend might be that weekend. Okay,
I think the best pictures of the whole race may be Grandpa Foyt meeting grandson Foyt, but I don't suppose either are going to meet one another too soon. Let's get back to the commentary team.
That's right now being pressured by Matsuura, but still up in front. It's Tony Kanaan and his teammate Dario Franchitti.
Yeah, Franchitti having a very good run. Rice,
another yellow.
Somebody else into the wall. That's one of the Red Bull cars.
Is that 52 or 51?
Can't see from this angle which one it is.
Now, if that's the 52 of Carpenter, could that be an aftermath of the contact with Foyt?
It is.
It is 52.
Yeah. And he might have, Foyt might have hit him, and that could be a problem. If he hit the right rear, the suspension might have failed on that right rear and caused him to get into the wall.
Well, it appeared that the contact was made with the right corner of this car.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the left front wheel was off of AJ's car before he hit the wall, which would indicate that he hit the right rear of Carpenter's car. And
Eddie climbs out. He's okay. Immediately walks over to Dr. Bach's truck, leaves the helmet on for the ride back to the infield.
Well, he is not very happy. You could tell just by his mannerisms that he's pretty upset with what just happened. But boy, when you get banged here, just like we said earlier about the Schechter Manning deal, or Dixon, I'm not, which one would he run into? Who was that, Dixon or Manning that got together?
They're right side by side.
Yeah, I couldn't tell which one it was. Anyway, you know, it's amazing they didn't both have trouble, because
excuse me, Larry, let's take a look again and see if in fact we can pick out exactly what happens here. This is late in the crash sequence, so
yeah. He's already in, but I think it's obvious to anybody who pays much attention that that thing broke and put him into the wall, because that was only a very, very short, yeah, you could see right there.
But still, the question that we have is, was something broken on the race car because of that earlier contact?
Oh, I would be willing to bet that it was something, because there was very little green flag time. I mean, he had hardly any time on there after that last yellow. So the first
realistically, although these cars run over 200 miles an hour, they're very fragile.
Oh, they're very fragile.
Contact and they're torn up.
The wishbones. Oh yeah, you can see right there.
Something was broken.
Yeah, something was broken.
Steer. He drove into the wall.
Yeah, the slow motion tells the tale, as it was down. Look at the debris all over the racetrack. But something was broken, and it just absolutely went right straight up to the wall. Look at Schechter. Boy, he's dodged a few bullets here today, hadn't he? But tough break for Eddie Carpenter, but I'm sure that was all a result of that other incident when he moved over to miss his teammate and was hit by A.J. Foyt.
Well, I know that Brian Barnhart has been preaching this week to these guys. He's had several meetings with them, and one of his quotes was, "I don't want to take anybody out of here on a stretcher." And it's kind of saying, I want you guys to respect each other, race hard, don't be blocking. This is a dangerous racetrack. It is. When you're racing this fast, this close, it's a dangerous racetrack.
And for the most part, they've done that, I think.
As we approach the quarter-way mark of this race, as we approach 50 of the 200 laps, we're under our third yellow of the day.
Yes, and 2 of the 3 yellows have resulted really from the same incident, even though the crashes happened at 2 different times. Both of those last 2 in-the-wall incidents were a result of one happenstance on the racetrack. When
first yellow was Darrell Manning. Darren Manning made some contact and broke his wing. That was back on lap 26. We were under yellow for 5 laps at that point. Then A.J. Foyt's contact with the wall brought the yellow for 6 laps on lap 39. And now we're under our 3rd yellow that came in on lap 47 when Eddie Carpenter made contact. And the pits are open, and we're going to have pit stops.
Now they're running them down through there.
Through the pit area.
I think the pits are open, but most of these guys aren't stopping. But they're taking them down through there.
Well,
because
some of them are stopping.
Yeah, some of them are stopping, and they are allowed to stop. But they are taking these guys down through the pits because of all the debris on the racetrack.
Penske crew stopping. That was for fuel only.
Oh, boy.
What that was?
Yeah, that was Alonso Jr. pulling in as he was trying to go out. This is going to be...
the guys are electing to make pit stops for fuel only on lap 50. And as the pits have been open, they've taken the field down through the pit area because of all the debris on the racetrack, and some of the teams did elect to stop.
Schechter's putting
not a mandatory pit stop here.
No, it was not a mandatory pit stop. Some of them stopped, but Schechter's putting on.
What's the problem? We got a car. How did this happen?
I think I think they're trying to get that out of there without getting on the grass. It's rained so much. It's so soft and muddy in there. They don't want to pull that wrecker down into that mud and get it stuck. So they tried to pull it out of there, and all they did was tip it over. Yeah, turned it over because it's so muddy. It dug in instead of sliding on the grass. So I'm not sure what they're going to do to get it out of there, but
let's look again. Top of the screen.
Right there. Let's see if we can see from this.
Something breaks right.
Oh yeah, it broke.
Something broke right there on the right.
Broke on the right rear. You can see the suspension broke. The right rear corner of the car is dragging on the ground, and that's why it hit the fence. And as we suspected, it almost certainly was a result of the contact that he and A.J. Foyt had earlier. So I don't think there's any question that both of those wall incidents were caused from the same incident when they got together the first time.
And you're right, Larry. They don't want that big heavy wrecker on the grass.
Put him in the mud. You're going to have to pull him out with a wrecker.
Pull him out.
Following his win in March,
retains his WBO featherweight championship.
he now defends his world title against William Avillard. Saturday Fight Night. Next Saturday, 8 p.m. Sky Sports 2.
The new Citroën C2 HDI with unbeatable fuel efficiency. Now, with cash injection system. The Citroën Zara Picasso, Britain's favourite MPV, from 10295 with superb money handling features. Citroën, innovators in value.
Your #1 gel just got a restyle. Along with the whole Shockwaves range. New Shockwaves. Style made for connection. From Weller.
Gentlemen, this is perfection. Now we need a plan.
Guess what? Somebody stole my thunder, and now somebody's gonna pay. I'll soon be freaking out from under, and love to live another day.
All right, lads. What kept you?
Perfect cream, now also available at home.
Like a sound you hear that lingers in your ear, but you can't forget from sundown to sunset. Nah. It's all in the air, you hear it everywhere. No matter what you do, it's gonna grab a hold on you.
The freshly prepared chicken salad from KFC. Discover the Magnum naughty bit of truffle and experience intensity like never before. New Magnum Intense from Walls.
A little modesty, £15. A pedigree coat, 10. Something fancy, £30. Something sweet, 80 pence. Paint job, peace, passion, pride. England United. Priceless.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, proud sponsor of UEFA Euro 2004.
What is tough? A true definition, mind you. I'm talking about kicking down a door with only one bullet and 5 guys on the other side. Or pulling into oncoming traffic, cause the guy chasing you won't. God damn. It's 2 wires, and knowing if you cut the wrong one, you really are going home. Sky Movies has chosen films that define tough. The true definition. Sky Movies Tough at 10. Weeknights at 10.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Bombardier 500. 3 yellow flags, 4 collisions, and this one, Paul, perhaps the most spectacular of the lot.
Yes, poor old Ed Carpenter was quite clearly a passenger in this whole event. I was under the impression that the previous shunt with AJ was Felipe Giafoni, but we're led to believe now that the other car involved was Ed Carpenter, and coming into turn 3, I think there, the rear suspension collapsed on the restart, causing what can be described as a fairly spectacular accident.
Johnny, when something like this happens and it appears to have been a suspension failure, do you drive the car or just wait?
Well, I mean, everything happens so quickly. By the time you've actually realised that something's broken on the car, you're virtually at the wall anyway. You don't really want to be on the pedals or holding the steering wheel too much, but unfortunately instinct takes over sometimes, and that's when you can damage a wrist or an ankle. If you hit the wall at a different angle. But the team, I think the team's a little bit at fault there. If they know that their car was involved in that earlier accident, they should have really had a very good look at that rear suspension. I mean, we commented on it, looking from here, and any contact with another car and those speeds and that much load going through the suspension, you really have to look at it very closely.
So when Carpenter got out and he was obviously angry, was that anger being directed at AJ or his team?
I would think it's probably going to be AJ at the end of the day. He's certainly not going to blame his team. However, as we were all discussing here earlier, the AJ and him, if those were the two parties, a lot of that was down to the spotters. Now, we've said on previous programs here that these drivers all have somebody in a high tower watching their every move and calling cars either side of them. And really the spotter is at fault for missing how close he was to AJ if that was the situation. And here's the result. But Johnny is right, the team should have automatically said, we need you in here. You'd lose half a lap, but they've now lost the race and probably $200,000.
This track known for close racing, is this what happens then at a track where competition is so intense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's running so close together, and the slightest little movement in the car you have to correct, and you can get tangled up with someone else. So, these high speeds, everyone running so close, that's what the fans go to see, really.
Well, they've had plenty already. I mean, hardly any way through it. Meanwhile, a certain gentleman who started on the 6th row is doing quite well for himself.
Yes, Dan has taken advantage of the pit stops and the situation to put himself in 6th place. It's still early days in the race, but as I said before, he's moved himself into the front part of the pack. They're the ones moving all the time, and by that I mean he's not got to do too much aggressive work. He can stay just with the pack. He needs to finish as close as he can to Tony, if not ahead of Tony, to retain his lead.
As we can see, they're still under a yellow. Quite a lot of clearing up after that one, I would have thought, and they can't even use their dumper truck.
No, there's a lot of fluid that's come out of that car, whether it's gearbox oil or engine oil or radiator fluid. So they need to get that cleared up before we can get back underway.
That's one major difference between Formula One and IndyCar racing. I mean, the Indy 500 spoilt by rain because they just don't work on wet surfaces.
No, I mean they have a rule about a certain amount of precipitation that can fall before they have to stop the race. But we keep going on about the high speed that they're doing, but at Indy 500 you're averaging 220 miles an hour, and on slick tyres with rain around, you really don't want to be out there.
I still want to see AJ meet his grandpa.
I would think it'd be an interesting one.
You'll be able to hear it over the noise of the engines, do you reckon?
I think they're probably discussing quite amiably the cost of repairing the car for the next event.
Dan doing well, going quietly up through the field, and Dario taking advantage as well, do you think?
Yeah, I think him and Tony have been at the front from the start of the race. They're obviously happy with their cars. Both had good pit stops. So, the team and Andretti Green seems to be doing a good job so far.
And every time they stop for tyres, it costs $200,000. Even my wife can't incur charges like that. Let's rejoin our commentary team.
The restart room will be Kanaan, Franchitti, Rice, Mira, Herta, and Weldon. We still have one lap to go. You see the lights are now on as dusk has overtaken Texas Motor Speedway. As a driver, Larry, is it fun to start in the daylight and end after dark?
I think the drivers would prefer to have it all the same. You have to adjust the car a lot less. You can set the car up a lot easier if it's all going to be done either in the night or in the daytime. Because when it's like this, it'll change. Because when the sun goes down, the racetrack will get cooler. The race cars will tighten up some. You'll have to make some adjustments with your wings and so forth to take away. And right now, you can see it's yeah. But anyway, it's very, very difficult because it's sunny right now and then it's shady in part of the racetrack.
All right, green flag out this time by Kanaan, Franchitti, Rice, and Mira. Mira didn't get a real good restart that time, but his teammate Rice did. Right away, Franchitti takes a look to the high side, and here comes Rice back there in third, and he goes even higher. Now tucks in behind him, now looks to the low side, going into turn 3, elected not to.
Yeah, I thought better of that, going to give him the time, but he just, that was a wise move. Too early in the race to do something silly right now.
Yeah, but look at this. Here comes Mira on the high side on his teammate.
Well, it gives Mira, once you get out of the throttle, it gives the guy behind you a little bit of a run on you. Mira had a little bit of a run, tried to go to the outside, couldn't make it work though.
And Herta and Weldon. Herta back in 5th position. Weldon is 6th. Thomas Scheckter has climbed out of car number 4, so apparently his race is over.
Well, it's a tough break for him. You can see back in the pack, this guy's still battling each other side by side as we ride along with Scott Sharp.
Scott's back there in the 14th position. That's Giafone up in front of him. Giafone took over the Robbie Buell ride when Robbie retired as a driver. And there is Scheckter taking the long walk back to the pit area. And when you leave your helmet on or back to the garage area, it kind of says to the media, leave me alone.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, not going to talk about it right now. Give me time to cool off. He's not very happy.
McKinney right along with Scott Sharp. Giafone then Manning up in front of Giafone, then Matsura and Castroneves. So
yeah, you can see right there he got a little bit wide, had pushed the front end a little bit, had to get out of the throttle, then he shifted downshifted. They've got 2 top gears on these things, the bottom, one a little bit lower than the other, and he shifted down to the lower gear to get a little more speed.
Well, in 12 starts, he's won twice here. Dates there on the screen.
Well, there goes Hornish on the outside of him. Remember, Hornish made that last second pit stop, and now he's moved his way back up around several guys. He was clear back in, I think, 19th position after that last pit stop. Look at this. Fernandez
way outside for a while.
finally decided that wasn't the place to be and decided to fall back in behind.
High side of Danny Weldon.
That's Mark Taylor right behind Fernandez.
There's a look at the Delphi number 8 of Scott Sharp. That's the Kelly Racing team. We told you Kelly and Panther Racing had won 8 of the last 10 events here. Of course, Kelly won with Al Unser Jr. last year. Al started the season without a ride, then put a program together with Pat Patrick for Indianapolis, and now we hear for the rest of this season.
Wow.
Right along with Buddy Rice back there in third. That's Franchitti right in front of you, and up above Franchitti will be the leader, Kanaan.
Yeah, Buddy Rice goes to the inside. He's been trying on the outside. Now look like he's going to try on the inside.
Now you go back to Weldon and Fernandez in the number 5 entry, and then Mark Taylor in the blue number 2. Back up in front. It's still Kanaan and Franchitti as we look back in traffic. There's the number 6 of Hornish back in 12th position.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what Hornish did on that last pit stop, but he made another tire change. I don't know whether the new tires are that much better or not, but he's passed a lot of cars, more cars than he's passed all day long, as he's coming up there pretty quickly. This goes by his teammate like Castroneves isn't even on the racetrack.
He was painted right there on the wall.
Wow.
So Hornish right now up to 11th position.
That's Dixon. He's on the outside side of Dixon.
The
right
102.11 that last lap, 211, and that was the fastest lap that last time around. So right now he is the number 6 car, is the fastest car on this racetrack.
Well, right now he looks like the Sam Hornish we've seen here run for the last several years, as he's really just been in and out of traffic and getting by 1 or 2 cars every lap. Now then he's on the outside of Dixon and hasn't made much ground since he's been outside of him.
Now you go back to the teammates running together. That's Fernandez and Matsura. Matsura in that number 55 and the 5 of Fernandez. That's back the battle for 8th position. Only 2 leaders so far today, Franchitti and Kanaan.
Oh, look at this.
There goes Rice on the inside for 2nd position, overtakes Franchitti. Now let's see what he can do with Kanaan. And here comes Vito Mira back there in the 4th.
Yeah.
And 5th is Weldon.
Franchitti had to let him go. Once he got down on the inside of him, he had to let him go. But he got a great run off of turn number 2 and just dove to the inside. He tried on the outside for several laps, couldn't make the pass on the outside, but did make it work on the inside.
Well, Mark Taylor having a good ride. He's up there in the 6th position right now. Taylor started back in 10th. So the Battle of Indy 2 weeks ago continues on here this evening, as your Indy winner rides in 2nd, and 2nd place at Indy, Tony Kanaan, rides out in front. Yeah. Quite honestly, even though the race was shortened by 50 miles, 20 laps, I don't think anybody had anything for Buddy Rice at Indianapolis.
No, Buddy Rice was definitely the fastest car there, had been all day long, and he deserved to win the race. He just was
pole position.
Yep.
They also won the pit stop competition as well, so they did the trifecta. As we'll take a look at the race summary after 71 laps. Tony Kanaan had to follow Dario Franchitti for the first 22 circuits. And took the lead.
Ooh. That was where Manning ran up on the back and bent the front wing. This is
Schechter right here on that restart.
Oh man. Yeah, that's eventually put Schechter out of the race.
There's the Foyt crash that did the suspension damage to number 52 that eventually put Ed Carpenter out of the race.
There's the Ed Carpenter incident a few laps later, the next green flag lap.
So Foyt, Carpenter, Thomas Schechter out of the race. You saw Thomas walking back to the garage area with the helmet still on. Kanaan continues to lead. This is the second time he's led here this afternoon, but he's been leading since lap 34. We're on lap 74 right now.
Vito Mira just went around the outside of Franchitti back there. Just looked like no effort at all, as he just blew by him down that back straightaway.
Here comes Hornish. Going to the outside of Herta. Right along with Dixon back there in the
He's back
12th position.
Yeah, Dixon, he got up to 9th a few laps ago as a result of all those pit stops, but he's not having a good day. Probably the worst day I've seen Dixon have realistically since he's been in the IRL. He's just not been in the hunt all day long for whatever
Right with
reason.
the rookie Mark Taylor. He's up in the 5th position right now. That's Franchitti out in front of him. And well, there goes Matsura. Matsura just went around Taylor for 5th.
Yeah, but Taylor having a good run. That's a good run for that young guy. He's really he's been very consistent, very strong all day long, right up there with the big dogs.
And Matsura looks to the high side of Franchitti. That's the battle for 4th. Kanaan leads it. Now here's a battle for position. Almost contact as Taylor goes to the inside of Matsura. Woo, hold your breath. There was almost contact there. Kanaan leads this thing over Rice. Rice's teammate Mir is right there in 3rd.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Matsura knew he was out there.
Look at that, almost contact right there between Weldon and Mira.
And that's how quickly things can happen here at this racetrack.
Man, oh man, Larry.
Now
that's why you talk about this being so mentally demanding.
Oh yeah. Now then Franchitti got back to the inside of Mira going down the back straightaway, goes back around him. Again, almost contact as Taylor got a good run on Mira and he went by him too.
So Mira drops 2 positions in less than 1 lap. Mira finds himself back in 5th position. But still up in front's Tony Kanaan. Buddy Rice is in 2nd, Franchitti 3rd, Mira.
Yeah, Mira's back in 5th place now.
Yeah,
that's her 6th. And Hornish is 7th.
Best ride we've seen for Sam for a while.
Yeah, Sam, he was pretty much just another race car until after that last pit stop. And he came all the way from, I think it was 19th at the time. Now we're up to 6th place. So he's made huge strides since that last pit stop. They must have made some tire adjustments or some chassis adjustments that made a huge difference to his race car. But that's what it takes. You've got to go in, you've got to work on them a little bit. Now you can see almost the whole racetrack is in the shadows. Almost the whole racetrack is does not have the sun shining on it, whereas just a few laps ago, almost half of the racetrack still had the sun on it.
So we may see as this race progresses, we get into the next round of pit stops, we can see some wing adjustments.
Well, probably will, because the race cars are going to change as the sun keeps going farther and farther behind the clouds. Now Dixon loses.
That was Herta in the number 7 car. That is for 8th position.
Dixon has actually gained 2 or 3 spots. He's back in 12th. He back up to had gained back up to 8th, and now then he just lost another spot. This racetrack is very tricky. When you run 2 top gears, you've got to know which gear to be in and what kind of at what time. The guys who really have that figured out, like Hornish, are the guys who really do well here.
Well, Kanaan, Rice, and Franchitti all have the Hondas. Taylor with the Chevrolet. So Honda has 4, make that 5 the top 6 positions, with Taylor Chevrolet in 4th. So a good accounting for the rookie.
Well, it certainly is. Highest operating Chevrolet on the racetrack. And like we said, he's been kind of up running back in the 7th, 8th place, but now then he's right up there. He's been very steady. But
with the big dogs.
With the big dogs, that's right. The tall dogs. Now then he goes to the outside. Look at this. To the outside of Franchitti.
Tucked right in behind them is Mira with a good view of this battle. Here comes Hornish on the high side of Matsura. So Hornish now back in his patented high groove. Hornish now in 6th position.
He has made that work better than any driver ever here at Texas Motor Speedway. Right now, trying to run that high groove, has been running it all day long. But and he's made it work all the way up to 6th spot, but it's having trouble when he got up that far.
Well, the two, the Manning and Dixon cars are together on the racetrack in the 9th and 10th position, but 85 and 200 laps now complete.
Yeah, he whatever happened to him, they had to get out of the throttle. He lost a lot of ground on the racetrack, and that ground is tough to make up. It's tough to pass those guys you know, when you got guys like Harnish and Matsura and Taylor, all those guys up in front of you, very, very tough to lose that many spots all at one time.
Well, only 2 leaders so far today, Dario Franchitti and Tony Kanaan. Kanaan now on lap 92, and he's led since lap 34.
Well, pit stops are going to be coming up here in another 10 or 12 laps, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with those pit stops. Of course, Harnish is going to be able to run longer than anybody in the racetrack because he stopped very, very late in that last yellow.
Vitor Mira continues to drop off.
Yeah, he's fallen way back.
All about 11th position. Greg Ray just got by him at number 13. So Mira is back to 11th.
Whatever trouble,
been like in 4th position.
Right. Whatever trouble he's experiencing, it wasn't just a.
It was more than just getting off the throttle.
Right. Whatever it was, it's an ongoing problem, and he's continues to fall back, and he'll probably be one of the first to stop to try to make an adjustment on his race car if they don't get a yellow here pretty soon.
Playing along with Darren Manning. Manning right now back in the 7th position. Manning has been involved in a couple of close calls here this afternoon. Let's see what happened here. Watch number 10. Whoa! And he got squeezed up there by Herta.
Wow.
He got squeezed to the fence and just did make it by. Now watch this. Along for the ride. He gets.
Man, I thought they touched. The first time I saw that replay, I thought they touched, but they didn't. And he made a very daring move, and it paid off. But boy, oh boy, could have been a disaster too.
But realistically, Larry, this is what we've come to expect of this racetrack. It is so close, so fast that close calls are commonplace.
You have to take a risk once in a while. There's no other way to win here at Texas. If you don't take a risk, you're not going to win here. You got to be good in traffic. Here we go.
Here's Mark Taylor, the first of our leaders to come in. This is a routine pit stop, scheduled pit stop.
Well, he looked like a pretty good pit stop for that young man. The crew did their job. He did a pretty nice job. 60-mile-an-hour pit lane speed.
And Buddy Rice peels off and heads for the attention of the Ray Hall Letterman team. As we told you earlier, Bobby Rahal is not here this evening. In fact, this weekend he is in Montreal, Canada with his 15-year-old son Graham, who is racing in the BMW support race in the Canadian Grand Prix. Bobby will be with Graham again next weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the U.S. Grand Prix.
Some front wing adjustments for Buddy Rice.
That's what we really expected once the track started to cool off. 5.9 second pit stop.
Wow, that's a very quick pit stop. Uh-oh.
There's the hose still attached, and they say, oh, heck, go ahead and go.
Weldon.
That was Weldon.
Yeah, we have seen them pull over those fuel tanks when that happened before. And we don't want to see that because that makes a heck of a mess, plus such a really bad situation for fire. But,
Kanaan has made his stop.
Yeah, these guys are making their pit stops a little sooner than I thought. They started stopping on lap 40 with only 43 laps down. Now they've only had 46, so they're stopping sooner than I had expected. I thought they'd make it at least 48 laps.
Leader of the race, that is Matsura. So he picks up the lead on lap 99.
Well, he's going to have to come in pretty soon. I don't think he made a pit stop during that last yellow, so he's going to have to come in very shortly. Manning is now running in second. I think he did make a pit stop, and of course Hornish, who's in third, he definitely made a pit stop. He was the last guy to pit on that last yellow. So we'll see. Greg Ray is out there. I think he made a late pit stop, and I think Dixon did too. So, and Greg Ray just passed Sam Hornish. So Greg Ray really making a move here late in the going.
Matsura leading his first laps of this season. Now, when will the rest of them? We've gone halfway. Of course, we talked a lot about going halfway at the Indy Motor Speedway 2 weeks ago because of the weather situation. Weather is not a factor here as far as the potential of shortening this race. We'll go the distance. It's muggy, very warm.
Now you're looking
threat of rain.
Looking at Hornish and Greg Ray. Let's take a look at
that replay of Weldon's pit stop.
All right, you can see everything looks routine at this point. The tires are on. Now, he's watching the guy on his right front tire. He's watching the guy on his right. They tell him to go, but see, He did the right thing. He did what he was told. But what happened was the fuel hose got out, but the vent hose did not. But it was not Dan Weldon's fault because the guy on the right front told him to go, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, Matsuura leads. Manning is second. Looking back to Hornish, who's third. Ray is now fourth. Dixon is fifth. Castroneves now has gotten around Dixon as Dixon peels off for the pit area. So all these guys we're talking about right now have yet to make their pit stops.
Yeah, they'll. Everybody's going to have to stop for too much longer.
Once again, we'll see if we have a good clean pit stop here and get that vent tube out of there.
And see, they have a different setup. They've got their vent tube and their fueling hose with the same guy, with all in one setup, and that seemed to work a lot better.
So when will, here comes Scott Sharp. Sharp had been up to 7th position as he pulls in to the attention of the Kelly Racing team.
He's got that helmet cam. That was exactly what he sees when he pulls into the pit area.
And Matsuura will come in, and that will turn the lead over to Sam Hornish. So Sam will become the 4th leader here in this race.
Matsuura and Manning both coming in exactly the same time.
Now there's an adjustment again to the front wing, just as we had anticipated.
Oh boy, some of these guys are really having trouble with those fuel hoses, getting them out of there. Matsuura was on the ball. They got it out on the second jerk.
Greg Ray, Hornish led for a lap. Greg Ray is now your leader.
Well, both of those guys are going to have to stop pretty shortly too. They've run over 50 laps.
What a shot in the arm for Greg Ray, though. He qualified his car with only 15 laps of practice at Indianapolis. Comes back here, qualifies, and look at that, currently up in front.
Yeah, well, home state, it's got to be a big deal for him. And here comes Sam Hornish. We knew he was going to have to stop before too much longer. There he is. We'll see if things go well for him. Looked like a perfect pit stop.
Castroneves stays out for at least one more lap. He is in 2nd position.
Greg Ray has run 55 laps since his last pit stop. He and Castroneves both, so they're both going to have to make a pit stop very shortly. They don't think they can. There he comes. There comes Greg Ray.
He pulls off. So that will make Castroneves the 6th different leader today.
It's Allinger Jr. who's just made his pit stop, heading back out on the racetrack. He was running currently 6th when he went into the pit area. And here comes Greg Ray.
With the absence of sponsorship identity on that race car, some good exposure like this may help him give some more sponsorship money. He is part owner in Access Racing out of Plano, Texas. Helps run his family's marine operation.
And here comes Castroneves. He'll be the last one after 57 laps to make a pit stop. That's really stretching it. He stretched it longer than anybody else. A lot of those were yellow flag laps, but still.
That would give the lead back to Kanaan. And right where we were before, Kanaan, Rice, and Franchitti before we started making the pit stops. And then Herta, Taylor, and Mira.
See that water? They squirt water right on the fuel just in case there's any chance a spark might ignite a fire. They squirt water as soon as they pull those fuel hoses.
The water
out.
would neutralize the alcohol, the methanol, where it would not neutralize fuel like gasoline.
Exactly. So that's the reason you see that squirt of water every time they pull that out of there.
There is your new leader after this round of green flag pit stops. 111 laps now complete, and Kanaan leads for the 3rd time in this race.
Yeah, Rice is back about 3 seconds behind him, so he's got a pretty nice lead right now, for the biggest lead we've seen here.
Our biggest lead this afternoon, 3 seconds from 1st to 2nd, and 3.1 seconds back to Franchitti. Castroneves is now in the 4th position. And look at this. Old Greg Ray's getting racy out there.
Right. He and Dixon racing back there for 12th and 13th.
This was before the race as Greg's greeting some of the race fans here in his home state of Texas. A kiss through the fence.
told that Herta is out of the car, so his day is obviously done. He saw him head for the pit area, dead stick. They looked at it, and I think they pronounced it DOA, dead on arrival.
So that Honda will not finish the race.
Yeah.
If in fact it is an engine problem. It could be gearbox, but
well, yeah, and they
came in dead stick. It would be the engine.
Whatever it was, he wasn't running, and so he's out of the cockpit. And like we said, that's the only Andretti Green car that doesn't seem to have very much luck for whatever reason.
Khan leads it. Rice with the Letterman and Rahal team. It's in second right now. You look at that battle for second position. There is Rice and there is Franchitti.
Franchitti just stalking him right now, trying to running a little bit up on the high side there, trying to see if there's a way to get around him out there. But right now, those two guys running almost identical speeds, so it's makes it very, very tough to get around somebody.
So it's Kanaan, Rice, Franchitti, then Mira, Taylor, Matsura, Castroneves, and Hornish, the Penske teammates right together on the racetrack. And there you look at one of them right there. Ooh, very close with Darren Manning.
Those cars, you can see that those cars do move around quite a bit. I mean, when you're coming off the corners, they're not just going along for a ride. Those things are moving a little bit. You've got to drive those things.
Castroneves right in front of the car you're riding along with Manning. You're looking down at Matsura, and right behind Matsura is the number 6 of Hornish. Yeah, they looked like they danced around a bit more this season than last season, which was what we anticipated.
Yeah, Manning on the outside right there.
We want to hear from Brian Herta, who stands by in the pit lane.
We've been fighting this problem all weekend where we're having some kind of a skip in the back of the car. It started doing it again in the race, and finally something let go. I think it was the clutch, something like that. We just lost drive. The engine was still running, but the wheels weren't turning, so. And I got to root for my teammates. You know, hope Tony or Dan or Dario can pull it out today. And we'll go root for the Lakers tomorrow and hope the Lakers can win tomorrow. All right.
Well,
yeah, he's referring, of course, to the NBA championship where the Lakers trail the Detroit Pistons 2-1. And the next game will be in the Palace at Auburn Hills outside Detroit. So
obviously a basketball fan and from LA.
It's an engine problem when number 8. Will this bring out the yellow?
We got down right away, down to the inside. You can see the smoke trail coming out of that thing down there. He's on the flat part of the pit lane, but obviously, we got problems.
There's a problem. This brings out the yellow.
Mark Taylor. Wow, tough break for Mark Taylor.
After a good ride for the youngster who was last year's Infinity Pro champion.
I'm wondering if he might have got in the oil from Scott Sharp's car. Happened almost at the same time. Tough break for him. He had a terrific run going. By far his best run of the year for the Team Panther Menards car.
Well, he's collecting his thoughts as he sits in the cockpit. Scott Sharp, the former Trans Am champion and co-IRL champion of the first season back in 1996, is in the pit area as the safety crew is up there and Mark Taylor stays in the cockpit. This is the 4th yellow of the afternoon or the early evening hours, with Kanaan on top over Rice, Franchitti, Mira, Castroneves, and Manning rounding out the top 6. So
sounded like me for a moment, didn't it? Yellow, a 4th yellow, and heartbreak really for British concerns.
Yeah, I mean, Mark was doing a fantastic job. He really was racing with the best. Building on his experience that he's had in the first 4 races, I thought he was in with a chance for a podium here. I'm pretty sure, although I've often been wrong, that he slipped on the oil from Scott Sharp's engine.
It doesn't take much, because we were saying earlier on about rain affecting them as it doesn't affect Formula 1 cars. Oil, by the same token, is a huge problem.
Yeah, obviously much worse. You know, it's a lubricant, and you know, I think it's too coincidental that one car has an engine blow up and all of a sudden another car's in the wall. So really very unfortunate. Doesn't look like he's hit the wall too hard, fortunately, but you know, he'll be very disappointed with going out of the race in that way.
Does inexperience come into play, or does it happen to anybody?
No, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. You know, a car's blown up. It probably hasn't even reached the driver that there's been a problem on the circuit. So there's nothing he could do. You know, he's running around there trying to go as quickly as possible, and unfortunately he's just been caught out by someone else's problem, perhaps.
That ball comes up quickly, doesn't it?
At 220 miles an hour, yes.
And it's a shame, as I say, for British concerns, because the British drivers are having a fair old crack at this one.
Yes, I mean, Dario's still up there fighting for a podium position. Dan dropped back with that rather disastrous pit stop, knocked him right back to 17th. But, you know, we still have got 30% of the race to go, so there's all to play for.
It seems a fair amount of manners that maybe don't exist in Formula One, because obviously there was a problem with the engine and the driver went straight onto the infield and was off as soon as he could. Yeah,
well, I mean, every driver knows what can happen if they don't, you know, get to the bottom of the circuit and get off the racing line as quickly as possible. And at the end of the day, you're all out there together, and nobody wants to hurt anyone else. So, you know, it's tough racing, but you know, there's a lot of respect between drivers as well.
Well, the wrecking crew hard at work there, and pit stop's the order of the day.
Yes, immediately the yellow's out. You've got to come in, and there will be at least one more pit stop, possibly. So I think everybody's going to try and hope that this yellow lasts for as long as possible, because they'll be saving fuel.
So they've got the car to remove, and as we've seen earlier, they're very serious about debris lying around.
Yeah, they have to be. They have to be absolutely certain that they've got all the fluid cleared up, and make sure there's no parts of Mark Taylor's car on the race circuit anywhere, so that make sure nobody picks up a puncture by running over anything.
Here's another view. You were saying that the marbles appear the later the race goes on.
Yeah, the longer the race goes on, as you can see, you know, the lines are fairly defined from this moment on. Sam Hornish and Thomas Schechter are the ones who normally go high side, whether it's marbles or not, but it's not for the faint-hearted, for sure. You get on that stuff and it's just like ice.
When it happens to you, Johnny, you don't have much chance to react, but what about when you're behind?
Well, same thing, you know, everybody's had it happen to them on a motorway. Someone brakes in front of you, and, you know, the closing rate is so fast it can catch you out very easily. Obviously in these cars, you know, if they lift off the throttle, even, you know, fully off the throttle from 220 miles an hour, it can be just like someone jumping on the brakes in front of you on the motorway. So, you know, it looks like a very silly error to make, but it's easily done.
The sun's gone down, the lights are on. What element does that add to the mix?
Well, that now becomes that sort of period that I spoke to you before. This is Scott Remke from Rahal, so he's obviously discussing where his boys are. The lights come on as the sun goes down, and it's like the end of a summer's day, you know, when the sun is low and it's neither dark nor light, and it makes for a tricky experience, but, you know, it's all part of the spectacle.
These guys are driving 500 kilometres. At what point does their concentration waver, or doesn't it?
Well, they can't really afford it to. You know, as the temperature's going down, the times are going to get faster now, so you know, the race should actually speed up a little bit, even though it's getting dark.
And the pit crew, we've seen a few incidents in the pit lane. I mean, is it more difficult in view of the fact that the extra wires and cables go into these cars?
Yeah, I mean, they're only in the pits for, you know, 5 or 6 seconds, and there's a lot of work to be done in that period. And you know, the guys in the pits are just as pumped up about it as the drivers are on the circuit. You know, they know they can make or break the race for the driver, so you know, everybody's trying to outdo each other.
Buddy Rice in line for his second win in a row. Kenan, your pick is second though. We'll see what unfolds. In the meantime, we'll take a quick break.
The toughest league in the world. The best riders from around the globe. 10 teams of 7. Head-to-head over 15 heats to become the Elite League champions. Sky Bet Elite League Speedway, Eastbourne v Oxford tomorrow at 8. Sky Sports 1.
Switch for a sharper, more responsive drive. New Astra, go drive.
Mr. Weinstein will be with you in a moment, Miss Aguilera.
That's killing me, man. That's Christina Aguilera. software.
Oh, look what she's doing, man. Woo! Look at
Hello, I got something for you.
Pop diva Christina Aguilera has been spotted making a different kind of music.
We did that. We did that.
The devil makes work for idle thumbs. Text another Virgin Mobile for 3p.
Discover the Magnum Naughty Bit of Truffle and experience intensity like never before. New Magnum Intense from Walls.
Hundreds of thousands of deals all in one place.
If you really love music, download it faster with full-speed broadband at Wanna Do Music Club. Whatever you want to do.
David Redshaw.
Yeah?
This, I believe, is yours. You left it in a bar the other night. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but when you consider that beer's a Heineken, it becomes a different matter. I don't... Come on, let me explain. See, David, Heineken has changed. It's now imported from Holland. We got rid of the 3.4%. It's now the 5% ABV you drink abroad. And why, David? We believe it makes our beer better. So when we see people not appreciating all the efforts we've gone to, it makes us kind of upset. Gentlemen, I think David knows what to do now. David, that's disgusting. Next time you order Heineken, just remember how it's made. Ah. What do we got? Paul Walters spilled his pint last Thursday. Let's go.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's usually the boy who does the asking.
It wasn't easy. I'm quite shy. There's something I have to tell you. I get £50 worth for it.
That's fine. I mean, you've opened up a whole new world for me.
Introduce a friend to Sky, and for 1 month only, you'll get £50 worth of vouchers.
You can see that darkness now has overtaken the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The lights are on. There's little Al, who won this race a year ago. Al back in the 16th position on this restart. He will not likely defend that championship here tonight.
No, probably not. Dixon, the only way he's going to win this race is if there's a very, very late yellow and he stays out.
Well, Chip Ganassi is calling the shots for Scott Dixon as we get ready to come back up through the gearbox. They have gone green, but I wonder if Scott Dixon, Chip Ganassi, is going to cruise for a while and make mileage.
Well, you know, Jack, we actually need a splash to get to the finish. We were at the back of the pack there. We had nothing to lose by stopping there and topping it off. Get a little bit of yellow, we might make it. Otherwise, we're going to need a splash.
All right, as we watch Tony Kanaan reassert himself in the front. Fellas, the story is in the back.
Well, the story could be fuel mileage here this evening. Tony Kanaan once again reassumes the top spot. You saw that pass on Buddy Rice.
Well, the guy in second place on a restart has an advantage. If he guesses right and gets a run, which Tony Kanaan did right there, he can get around the guy in first place. But if the guy in first place gets a little bit of a run on you or gets in the throttle first, you're not going to get that advantage. Buddy Rice just got snookered right there.
Well, Mira has gotten around Hornish for third position. Hornish now is fourth. Franchitti is fifth.
Yeah, Fernandez looks like Matsura's having trouble as he's been passed by 3 or 4 cars here in the last lap. That's him clear on the inside. Yeah, he's definitely got some kind of a problem as Matsura's moving straight backwards.
Well, now we're told from timing and scoring and race control 55. You just mentioned Matsura being passed is losing power.
Yeah, he's dropped a cylinder. Something's gone wrong because he's way down on the bottom of the racetrack and has quickly moved from the top 5
to the bottom 5.
To the bottom 5, actually to the.
That Sewer is now 15th position and is about to be overtaken by Little Al.
Yeah, the Little Al. He's now the last race car running on the racetrack. But to prove to you how closely these cars operate, there's not one car been lapped all day long.
And after this restart, only some 4 seconds between first and 15th.
Yep, there's Little Al. He's not having the day that he had hoped for here. This is a brand new team though. That's only their second race. They're still trying to get their act together, and they will sometime, but it won't be today.
Well, the question is now. You heard Chip Ganassi say we need a splash. They don't need tires for the distance. They need a splash. Now, will that splash come under yellow? Will it come under green?
Well,
140 laps about to be completed, 60 laps to go.
If this goes green the rest of the way, the people who are smartest in the pits are going to win the race, because some cars are going to come in, just take a couple of gallons, and look at Vito Mir on the outside now, Buddy Rice.
Vito Mir's had one of the best rides here this afternoon.
Yeah, after that, whatever happened during that one segment where he went straight to the back, and now all of a sudden, again, he's moved right back up front and is very, very strong again.
Qualified 13th, was running, I think, in the 4th position, and we saw him start to fall off and went to the back of the pack, made a pit stop, and now he's back up in 3rd and battling for 2nd. Warnish now is 4th, Franchitti is 5th, then Castroneves, Fernandez, Manning, Ray having a pretty good ride this afternoon, up in 9th position.
And there he goes to the outside again of Buddy Rice. Let's see. Now he should have a good run at him through 3 and 4. No. For whatever reason, he seems to lose a little ground down in 3 and 4 and get through 1 and 2 better. That's just the opposite that we've seen almost everybody run all day long.
And look at Sam Hornish back there in 4th. You're right along with Rice now in 2nd position. That's Tony Kanaan out in front. Tony was victorious this season at Phoenix. Of course, Rice 2 weeks ago in the 88th running of the Indianapolis 500, shortened to 450 laps, or 450 miles we should say, because of some very, very heavy weather. For those of you that joined us 2 weeks ago, we'll tell you that the National Weather Service said we had 17 tornadoes strike Indiana that particular day.
Franchitti just got around Sam Hornish. Hornish tried the outside, and when he did, Franchitti took advantage, went right by him going down the back straightaway.
Now the Penske cars are riding together on the racetrack back in 5th and 6th.
They're the top 2 Toyotas on the racetrack. Top Chevrolet is Alex Barron back in 10th spot.
So Honda's race 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now. Then Toyota 5th and 6th. And still, you see the entire field right together there on the racetrack.
I was going to say the top 10 guys.
He's like 3 laps off the pace now, but the rest of them are all in the lead lap. Only 7 seconds from 1st to 15th.
Yeah, the first 9 or 10 guys are just right there, right.
I'll tell you what, as competitive as these and entertaining as these races, we should have all the races right here. Let's just come here every couple of weeks, shall we? One of the favorite racetracks for the drivers as well. As you said, Larry, it's a demanding race mentally as well as physical. But, boy, I tell you, the fans love it. Look at the huge crowd here.
Yes, there is. And you know, I think one of the drivers said it best. He says it's a chore just to tighten your seatbelt sometime at this place, because you're always in a bind, you're always turning, you're always you know, having to pay attention to what's going on. So it's nothing easy on this racetrack.
Well, see, at Indianapolis, you have those 2 long straightaways that really, although you're going that fast, you still have some time. Here, there's no time to rest, and in 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be at Richmond, and there's no time to rest on that thing.
No, it's even worse, really, as far as
much
physically
than this thing.
Yeah, because they're turning that little racetrack at Richmond now in like 17 seconds, and they're really, really fast there.
Well, this racetrack has produced a number of near misses and also a lot of rubbing out here. In fact, they're rubbing almost as much as you'd see in a stock car race.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very, very close and very tough, and it's, You have to run close if you want to make a pass, though. That's the problem. If you're not running close, you're not going to pass anybody. And when you run that close, sooner or later, you stand the chance that you're going to touch somebody.
Well, Franchitti almost got touched there by
I think it was Manning.
Right along again with Buddy Rice, who's back there in second position, trying for a back-to-back victory. Works through the 24-degree banking.
Kanaan seems
150 laps, 150 down, 50 laps to go, and it's still a shootout among about 5 or 6 different drivers. The current standing showing Kanaan, Rice, Mira, Franchitti. Now watch, this is a replay. This is a replay of Manning and Fernandez. This is a replay. Now watch how close they get.
Manning on the inside, Fernandez on the outside. Manning comes up the racetrack. Oh, close.
Man,
oh man. How he ever got his left front between the front and rear tires of Manning without ever making contact, I do not know. Unbelievable.
And this is at over 200 miles an hour.
Over 200 miles an hour, and these guys are playing chicken, kind of. Man, it's very, very tough mentally when that happens, because you just know that you're just courting disaster. You're running so close.
Well, Kanaan continues to lead. Now he has Rice right behind him. There's Vito Mira back up to third. Franchitti is fourth. And he's been doing battle with Hornish.
Hornish
now has moved to fourth position.
Well,
there's Manning on the inside. Manning and Hornish almost get together.
Manning has been pretty brave here today. He's been in the middle of just about every situation.
Every fracas he's been in.
Every situation that we've shown a replay on, Manning has been in it for one reason or another. Man, oh man.
Well, there's a look at Barron and Fernandez.
Well, Barron having one of his best runs too, as he's given that Chevrolet a great ride here today.
He's the best Chevy power plant out there, and look at him on the inside.
Wow. Just goes by. Fernandez moves into sixth spot.
So a good ride for the Team Cheever Red Bull entry.
Now Mira moves back again.
Falling off the pace a bit.
Seen him do that a couple of times. And look at Hornish though. He's on the outside of Rice up in front. He moves into second place. Wow.
Well, let's watch this scramble for position. Franchitti gets passed by a couple of guys. He gets very squirrely.
He lost the front end. He lost the air off his front wings. Had to get out of the throttle. Castroneves lost out there.
Yeah, because it had to stop the momentum on. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Manning again.
Right in the middle of that one. He's been in every replay that we've shown just about. Wow.
Kanaan, okay, here's the way it shakes out. Kanaan, Hornish, Rice, and Manning.
If Manning finishes this race
with all four wheels on that car,
it's just going to be a miracle, because he has come so close so many times to being right in the middle of.
There must be some donuts on the side of that race car.
Gotta be.
Here comes Rice back at Hornish.
Hornish tried to pull down a little bit, couldn't do it.
Okay, buckle your seatbelts. We're going to have your classic Texas shootout finish here.
Man. Sam Hornish in the place he loves to run. Usually he's on the outside here this close to the end of the race running for first and not for second. And this time it looks like he's going to fall back to third as Buddy Rice pulls on by.
So Rice gets the measure of Hornish down the back straightaway. Here comes Manning.
Look at Vito Mira.
Look at Mira back up there.
He gets a big little draft from Hornish and gets a good run on the outside.
Oh, look how close they are. This is the battle for second. You watch that battle from Darren Manning's number 10. Working on lap 160. We'll have 40 laps to go at the conclusion of this circuit. And here comes Mira on the outside of Manning.
Sam Hornish trying to figure out what he can do to get around, trying to know, he doesn't know whether to go to the inside. Looked like Manning almost got in the grass again as he cut those that little trioval part very, very close down there.
Well, Kanaan has led the most laps here this evening.
Look at Mira.
Mira trying to make it 3 wide into turn 3.
I just don't think you can do that. Well, you can do it. We've seen Sam Hornish do it, but it doesn't happen very often. Let's put it that way.
Well, you can get 2 wide through that little short straightaway at the start-finish line. You can't go 3, though.
Boy,
Still the battle is for second. Hornish stays on the outside. Now they go 2 by 2 for 4th and 5th. Manning and Mira. There's Manning on the inside. There's Mira on the high side. And Mira giving this car a great ride for Ray Hall Letterman.
Boy, he certainly is.
And there on the high side is Hornish.
He's trying to figure out which one of those 2 guys is going to win this battle, which one he needs to follow and draft with. So far, he's chosen Hornish, and it's, you know, neither one of them have gained much.
Let's talk about Kenny Breck for a moment, too, because this was the racetrack where Kenny was so badly injured last October. He is on the mend, has been back in the race car testing, and he says he's just not quite physically ready for it. Mentally he is, but he's not ready physically for the return.
Right. He was very quick. He tested at Richmond and was just as quick as everybody else, but he said he had back cramps. He didn't feel right, so physically he's just not quite ready, and he's not going to race until he is.
So will he come back and take over Mira's ride, or will Ray Hall award Mira with a ride the rest of the season? Well, that's yet to be answered.
Sky Sports brings you live coverage of the US Open Golf Championship. The finest players in the world come together and compete for one of the greatest titles in sport. The power and the glory of the US Open, sponsored by the Royal Bank of Scotland Group, starts Thursday at 3, live on Sky Sports 1.
Last rain. Not so bad.
Last rain?
Not so bad at all.
Welcome to the Latin Quarter.
Subscribe to our Euro 2004 service and get up-to-the-minute goal alerts, news, half and full-time scores straight to your phone. Plus, get up to 10 downloads over 5 weeks for an amazing 12p each. Just text Kick 1, Kick 2, Kick 3, Kick 4 or Kick 5 to 8007 now. Support our boys in Portugal. Just text Kick 1, Kick 2, Kick 3, Kick 4 or Kick 5 to 8007 now.
Thank you for the days.
At the Carphone Warehouse, we want you to be happy with your phone, for better or for worse, through the good times and the bad. We're in this for the long term. But eventually, you can always just bin him. And with our upgrades, we look after your new phone just as well. The Carphone Warehouse, for a better mobile life.
Hi, I'm here about the room.
Come on in.
Hey, hi, I'll show you around. Kathy,
Hiya.
trainee chef. Won't let anyone else cook.
Ugh, cheap flick. Football legends!
I'm afraid you're stuck with the box room. Balcony.
Carlsberg don't do flatmates, but if we did, they'd probably be the best flatmates in the world.
And away those courses go! But what dastardly deed is this? Hey! A sneaky shortcut! Now what's he up to? Uh-oh! Bye-bye! Watch this. Black Sapphire heads for the finish post. The post really finishes him.
Corsa, now with 4 years 0% finance and free insurance.
In an all-new Sky One documentary, we look at a range of drunken behaviour and ask what is acceptable.
What was his name? What did he look like?
And what is outrageous. All new Am I Normal? Tonight, 10:30, Sky One Sunday.
70 laps now complete, 30 laps to go, and it's still a shootout among about 6 or 8 drivers with Kanaan, Rice, Manning, then Hornish, Mira, Ray, and Barron. So let's talk about Ray and Barron. Ray back there in 5th position, make that 6th. Barron is 7th in the best Chevy outing so far. And there's a look at Greg Ray in number 13.
And all of a sudden, Scott Dixon right in the middle of the fray as he's right behind Ray. Running on that lap car of Al Unser Jr., the first lap car we've seen all day long. Wow.
We talked about Dixon running near the back of the pack. Now he starts to assert himself. And now he is the 9th position, but there goes Takagi. We've not called his name all day.
Well, he got trapped back there behind Al Jr. And see, when he moves to the outside, he just can't make that car work anywhere but right on the bottom. Once he moves to the outside, he's just in trouble for whatever reason and just not having his normal day.
Well, Al's not having his normal day either now. A lap off the pace after standing in victory lane last season.
Look at this. 2, 4, 6, 7 cars just nose to tail right up there together. Mira on the outside. Barron underneath him. Manning and Hornish in front of him.
Well, Tony Kanaan has led the most laps here this afternoon. He led 191 laps at Phoenix. He led 28 at Indianapolis. He's led, coming into this evening's race, 219 circuits. And of course, he'll get the bonus points for leading the most laps here this evening. Plus, if he can maintain this position, he will take over the points lead. Coming into this evening's race, Danny Weldon led by 1 point over Kanaan. Rice was 28 points back.
Weldon running back in 11th place, so he also not having a good day here at Texas.
So the winner at Phoenix trying for another win here this evening.
They've run 45 laps since that last pit stop, Gary. So somewhere in the next 5 to 10 laps, you're going to see a lot of these guys heading for the pits.
And we saw what happened in the last pit stop, that Rice was able to get out in front of Kanaan. But it didn't take Tony long to reassume that top spot after the restart.
Could be a key factor. Pit stops are going to be very important. A mistake's going to put you out of the race.
And right now, there are 9 drivers within 1 second of the leader.
Yeah, Dixon has fallen back quite a ways. He's back in 10th. But you can see there's the first 9 guys all right there on that same straightaway.
In some cases, side by side.
Battling each other. And look at Barron on the inside. He and Vito Mir having a great race back there for 5th.
Well, Barron in the Chevrolet. Right now you've got Hondas out in front in the first 2 positions. Then the Toyotas of Manning and Hornish ride in 3rd and 4th. The Chevy of Barron is 5th. And the Honda of Mira and Ray and Franchitti would be 6th, 7th, and 8th.
And I think that just proves that the engines aren't that far off. I mean, they may be getting out qualified, but come race time, if you're set up right, you can race with anybody, because the Toyotas and the Chevrolets obviously just as fast as the Hondas here.
Well, you also know that the Toyota engineers, the Chevy engineers are tweaking all the time to squeeze some more horsepower out of this.
Look at this. Buddy Rice tries to make a shot on the outside, tries to give him that old last-minute effort.
Who's going to lead this lap? It's going to be Rice, I believe.
Well, yes, it was.
Was it Rice?
Yes, it was. Yes. It was Rice. And of course, these all have transponders, so it's not a guess. They're all, electronically scored. But boy, oh boy, that's what he's got to do. And that may be what. Oh!
Contact. Oh, they kept it off the wall. Did they all keep it off the wall? I don't believe it.
Harnish barely hit the wall.
I don't believe it. Did the yellow come out?
Yellow did not come out, I don't think. Holy smokes.
The yellow is out.
The yellow is out. Well, everybody's going to make their pit stop on this last yellow, but man, oh man.
Did we avert disaster or did we avert disaster?
You just saw some of the best driving by about 4 or 5 different guys back there that you're going to see at any kind of racetrack anywhere in the world. Those guys, it would have been so easy just to slam those things right into the fence, and they all kept them under control. Hornish even went up and just touched the wall. And still.
You see him kind of snaking the car back and forth to make sure the suspension was all right.
He wants to make sure everything is okay, but it doesn't take very much contact. You just don't know with these cars.
Well, look at the right front wing here.
Yeah, Manning.
Manning, he'll need some attention in this pit stop. Let's watch again. Watch him scramble. There's the contact. Rice and Manning.
Unbelievable. Manning got down there really where he shouldn't have been, I don't think. Rice, I think, he got down to the inside. Wow. I don't know. He was up there pretty far. Yeah.
He had his own lane there. He wasn't that far.
He was up there pretty far.
Above that white line.
But Hornish and Rice.
Let's watch from both inside. There's the there's got to be suspension damage to Manning's car. Look at Rice hang on here.
Wow.
Look how close this gets.
Rice did a terrific job. Well, we said if Manning finished this race with all 4 wheels in that thing, he's going to be lucky. He may be lucky. He's got to go in and change the nose of that thing again, so he won't be up.
Only the nose.
Oh man.
That's the second nose that they've had to replace this afternoon.
Yeah, he's going to have to borrow one from his teammate. Probably doesn't have any more spares.
Well, Kanaan will lead.
Well, this is a big break.
They all come in for their
pit stop.
Final pit stop under the yellow, the 5th yellow of the afternoon.
But I think Manning he's going to have to do something with that wing, which is pretty much going to put him out of contention. Franchitti, he got a big break. Rice, he got a lousy break there because he's going to move to the back because he's already back, and so did Hornish. Hornish is going to have to make a pit stop. Tough break for those guys.
For Franchitti and Tony Kanaan. Darren Manning, they're still working on that car. Oh, there's contact. Look at this. Who was that? That was Scott Dixon, and this is that was Fernandez.
Scott Dixon and Fernandez got together coming out of the pits. Dixon almost gets upside down as he got so far up, and Buddy Rice, he's got enough damage that they're saying
that's it.
What a tough break. What a tough break. Raced so hard in the top 2 all day long, and then have something like that happen with just 15 laps to go.
Well, you have to wonder now how much damage was done to Scott Dixon's mount or to Fernandez.
Well, yeah, you would think. Rice,
he's climbing out.
Well, and that's a smart decision. No sense going out there and doing what Carpenter did, slamming it into the wall and tearing it up more, because and I'm sure his view of what happened is going to be a lot different than Darren Manning's view of what happened. But
well, Manning was well off that white line.
The only thing I can say about Darren Manning is that he has been probably the most aggressive guy on the racetrack today.
Yeah.
You take that any way you want.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Whether you're driving with your well, whatever.
Yeah, that's right. You take that any way you want, but he's definitely been the most aggressive guy on the racetrack today. You don't get it every.
Look at this again, Larry.
Look at this. Fernandez just went out. He was trying to go around Mira, and he just drilled Dixon. Dixon didn't even know he was coming, I don't think.
Watch this.
This ought to be exciting. Woo! Almost like a motocross.
Well, Dixon apparently is getting out of the car, so there was substantial damage. Here's Buddy Rice.
Maybe we'll get a word with him. Tough break. Yeah, we're going to go down and see if we can get a word with Buddy Rice.
The last I heard, there was no threat behind me, so we started to fall back in line. And right there, as we went and turned in, I just got a big hit from the side. I don't know if we came down or car came up. I'm really not sure until I see it, but I mean, I had no idea anybody was there. So,
did you know something was broken as you came down pit road, or did you just feel it as you started to leave?
It didn't. Nothing broke until he stuck it in gear. As soon as he stuck it in gear, it broke the half shaft.
All right, Buddy Rice sits on the wall here. You can tell the disappointment here. They thought they had the car to beat, and they thought they had something left for Tony Kanaan.
Now, that's interesting, Larry, because he said he didn't know the person was there. Now, that can be a spotter situation, not telling him somebody was there on the inside.
Well, that's right. He said they told him it was clear, and he just pulled down.
So, how's it going to shake out in the final 17 laps? Under yellow, the final pit stop of the evening. And look who's leading now. Dan Weldon, the leader and winner at Motegi. After this yellow flag pit stop, they're showing Weldon, then Castro-Neves, then Kanaan, Barron, Franchitti, Ray, Mira, who was a loser in that round of pit stops, Hornish.
Yeah, well, Hornish fell way back when he got in that almost that tussle when the Manning and Rice got together. So he was a long way back when he went into the pits and didn't gain anything in the pits. Barron is a guy who really did a nice job. That whole team has done a nice job today. He moved up right behind Kanaan. The real question is going to be, can either Weldon or Castro-Neves make it to the end?
Kanaan.
Well, they've made a pit stop 56 laps ago. Even with these yellows,
well, their only chance to win this thing is to stay out and milk that fuel supply.
Yep, that's what they're going to try to do. Obviously, they've made the decision to stay out there and hope they've got enough fuel to finish the race. The only way they've got a chance to win.
So Kanaan and can turn up the wick, as can Barron. Franchitti will restart.
Well, the yellow flag is still out, which means we can discuss a fairly eventful last couple of minutes. Accidents on the track and in the pit lane. It never stops.
Yes, there's a fair bit of a incident coming out of the pits there, but in fairness, I think poor old Scott Dixon was a bit innocent there, and Fernandez just didn't look where he was going, and that was a huge impact. So poor old Dixon was the big victim in that deal.
Our commentary team saying that if Manning gets on with all four, I mean, they probably said it a few times, didn't they? Yeah. But it's as though they're laying the blame on him. I don't actually think he was to blame there, was he?
No, I think when you look at the in-car camera, Buddy Rice is just turning into the corner, doesn't know there's a car on the inside, and I felt that he was the one that actually came down. You know, Darren's been involved in quite a few incidents today, and some are his fault, but I don't think that one was really.
Well, now it sets up an interesting race, and an interesting race for the championship lead.
Yes, with Dan got himself to the front, Tony's tucked in behind him. They both pitted on 128 laps, so they're going to try and get to the end of this race. Be interesting to see if they can make it.
13 laps to go. Let's see what happens.
And Mira's on the outside. Wow, he went around Castro-Neves on the outside. Kanaan looks pretty strong, though. He's been strong all day long.
And Kanaan reassumes the top spot on lap 188.
Wow, Weldon, I didn't think he was going to give Franchitti room, but he did. Now then, here comes Barron.
On the inside. Look at this ride Barron's having, and look at Mira on the high side.
3 wide. Vito Mira on the outside, 3 wide.
Hang on, Vito.
Wow. We've seen that done one other time with Sam Hornish, and he ended up winning the race. But boy, takes some pretty good nerve.
I tell you what, I don't know if anybody has anything for Tony Kanaan.
Oh, look at Hornish down on the inside of Weldon. He goes around, he and Mira both, as Weldon going straight backwards.
Well, let's see what Hornish has in the final 12 laps here.
Well, remember, Hornish got up, just barely tapped the wall.
Weldon slowing down.
I think he's out of fuel. Bet he's out of fuel.
Well, he could be. And this could bring out a yellow. Well, now he's picked up the throttle again.
Well, he might have just lost. No, he's racing the engine. He's lost the gearbox in that thing.
So no yellow now. Kanaan, Franchitti, and look at Barron.
Barron's right up there. Hornish is right behind him. So Hornish has made a great comeback after getting clear up, touching the wall. Looked like his day was over. Didn't see any way he was going to save that thing from crashing. Now then he's right back on the hunt.
10 laps to go. 10 laps to go. Look at Alex Barron. Started this race in 22nd position.
What a terrific
Chevy up in 3rd.
What a terrific run for him.
Hornish back in 4th. Then it's Mira. Then Greg Ray. A good ride for Greg before the hometown fans.
Yep, sure is. Hornish.
I'd like to see Greg Ray get some financial help, some sponsorship, and keep that thing going the rest of the season.
Hornish and Mira kind of trying to draft each other to move back up there. Oh, no, Mira says, I'm through drafting. I'm going to go around if I can, but he can't do it. 8
laps to go. Kanaan won already this season at Phoenix. Franchitti, after winning the pole, his first pole of his career, would like to find his first win here at Texas.
Hornish and Mira were the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack that last lap, as they're pulled right up on the back of Alex Barron now.
And look at Ray.
Ray is right with them. He was he was the third fastest. He was the second fastest actually that time, and Mira was third fastest.
Hornish looking for a place to go as he's tucked in behind Barron as the laps wind down. And here comes Mira on the high side of Hornish.
Where the spotters become so important in situations like this here at Texas. As you heard Buddy Rice say, you know, he was told he was clear and he tried to move back down. That's when he and Manning got together. And right now you've really got to have your spotters on your side, and they've got to be telling you what's going on around you, especially when Mira is the outside. You don't want Sam Hornish pulling up into him when he's already out there. And look at Sam Hornish, he's on the outside, Mira on the outside of him.
Sam on the outside of Alex Barron. This is for third position. He's got to get by Barron to have a shot at the 2 leaders. Looks like he may have him cleared down the back straightaway.
Mira's trying to go 3 wide on the outside of him again. We've seen Mira out there a couple of different times. Unbelievable.
And he's going to make it work. Sam could not get around Barron. 4 laps to go now. 4 laps to go.
Unbelievable. Mira ran that hole. We've seen that happen. He's only the second guy we've ever seen try to do that here. Hornish being the other one. And look at Greg Ray. While he was up there 3 wide, Greg Ray's moved around him.
Momentarily.
Momentarily. And now Vito Mira comes back. Meanwhile, Team Green pulls away from the rest of them.
3 laps to go, and it's going to be a shootout between Kanaan and Franchitti. The 2 Andretti Green teammates swapped the lead early in this race, and it's going to be up to them for the final 3-lap shootout. Make that 2.5-lap shootout.
Wow, look at Vito Mira again on the outside of Hornish.
2 laps to go. We'll see the white flag the next time by.
Hornish just cannot find a way around Barron. Uh-oh, Castroneves ran out of fuel.
Has a problem.
Yeah, ran out of fuel. Remember, he was trying to make it to the end. He came up 3 laps short. His gamble did not pay off. The captain doesn't make many mistakes, but this was one of them.
White flag. 1 lap to go. Does Franchitti have anything for his teammate?
I don't think so. I think Kanaan has had pretty much things his way most of the day, and I don't think this lap is going to change much.
Well, the battle is actually going to be for 3rd place, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this will not, as close as it is, it will not be one of the closer finishes here at Texas. As Kanaan picks up the victory, his 2nd of the season. He won at Phoenix. Franchitti goes 2nd. Barron takes 3rd. Great ride for Barron in the Chevrolet. Hornish is 4th. Then Fernandez and Mira.
Welcome back. Well, they promised us close racing at the Texas Motor Speedway, and they weren't lying. Paul, a win for Kanaan, but for Dario Franchitti, something of a landmark in the IRL.
Yes, his best finish in the series, and I think a confidence-boosting finish for him as well. As we said at the start of the show, he's had awful luck this season. He's had blow-ups. He's been knocked out by people who are not looking where they're going. And so this will be a major fixation for him to get going.
Johnny, your old housemate will be thrilled with this 2nd place. He might even be happy, despite the fact that you backed this bloke to win it.
Yeah, well, Tony and Dario have been very, very good friends for quite a few years now. So, you know, massive result for Tony, but bigger result for Andretti Green. 1-2 again, and you know they're just showing that they're the dominant force at the moment.
I lead, and I was asking him, should I lead? Should I lead? And he said, don't worry, man, you're doing a good job. And I said, come on, God, I led the whole night. You're not going to let me down now. And great team effort. I'm happy for Dario. He needed that result. And all AGR 7-11, it's their hometown. So, you know, I feel bad for Dan and Brian, but they'll catch up, and I'm very happy.
Well, not only that, now this puts you back in a solid position for the IRL IndyCar Championship as well.
That's what I'm working for right now, and the only way to win championships is winning races, so that's what we're going to do from now on.
Let me take you back to the first pit stop when on the refueling there was a momentary glitch. There was a hiccup with the vent hose. Were you aware of that in the cockpit of the car?
Yeah, I knew it, but you know, sometimes things like that happen, and the guys got it right after that. And you know, I have a great team, and you know, there's always room for mistakes, and that one didn't cost us, luckily, and I'm extremely happy. I mean, everything, tires, I mean, they last long. We were in a stint and a half. So
I guess the congratulations to Danny Weldon. Hey, TK. Let me tell you one thing. Not only are you the points leader, but all of a sudden now, you have dominated Texas Motor Speedway in the Bombardier 500. You are the Hulk. You're the man.
Well, for now, I mean, in the next race, I mean, I'm hero today, I can be zero next time, so let's keep working. I mean, definitely today, I'll enjoy it today for sure.
Hey, Jerry.
Well, he certainly deserved the victory here today.
I want to hear from Franchitti as well.
I think we did. I was learning as the race went on. There's a couple of times I got shuffled back a bit, but at last restart it was time to go, and we almost got past Tony, but when I realized we couldn't get by him, I just wanted to run single file, get clear of the other guys, and then if we had another chance we could have gone for it. But it was a great result, 1-2 for Andretti Green. I think we gave Michael a heart attack when the three cars were running 1-2-3 on that restart. I think he was getting a bit nervous.
What does this do for you and this team and Kyle Moyer? You ran all the way across the grass and gave Kyle Moyer and all these guys a huge hug. What's it do for momentum going to Richmond?
No, well, hopefully it'll give us some momentum. You know, we've been quick all year, we just haven't had any results, so this is the first result, and hopefully we'll go from here with the RKX car.
Congratulations on a great night.
Hey, thank you.
And once again, a very pleasant look on the face of Michael Andretti, who I think he is enjoying life now probably as much as he ever did when he was an active driver. He can approach life in a much more relaxed state than he ever did when he was driving.
Paul, it seems the race for the lead in this championship changes as often as the race for the lead in the races.
Yes, it's very, very competitive this year. Before, we've definitely had sort of three groups: the very professional, the not so professional, and the people who just come to the race. All these guys, right down to 18th, are very professional now in this series, and it's a major, major championship. It's backed by three huge corporations with the engine manufacturers, and they're pulling out all the stops. So I think we're in for a fantastic season.
From 15 laps out, Johnny, that was a race for the line. It was dramatic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're down to you know, 30 miles to go or so, and it's every man for himself. New tyres, you know, fuel to finish the race and turn the engine up as much as it'll go and flat to the board.
Word in praise of Mr. Manning, where there was incident, he was there.
Yes, he was definitely not the commentator's favourite in some direction there for sure. But I mean, Darren, in fairness to him, he got pinched, squeezed, pushed. Everything that could have happened did happen, and he kept a cool head and brought it through. And even though he might have been disappointed with an 8th place finish, he will have garnered a lot more points, and he will be one of the few people who's moved up in the championship.
Talking moving up, Dan Weldon seemed to be doing just that and seemed to be timing his run perfectly, but it didn't come off.
No, we were still not sure what happened to his car, whether it was a fuel problem or a drive problem. I think it was a drive problem, but you know, these yellow flags create an element of uncertainty, and you know, you have to try and push the envelope sometimes, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So today didn't pay off.
Buddy Rice has already secured his future with the win a couple of weeks ago, and he came close this time round.
Yes, he was running very strong, and his teammate Vita Mira, you know, was running very, very strong. The Ray Hal Letterman team have really got their act together. Again, another team heavily backed by Honda. I think Honda are taking this very seriously this year.
I think that's fair to say. They've got a stranglehold, haven't they?
Yeah, most certainly. You know, they've linked up with some of the very best teams that were previously in kart, and you know, they're just doing a very good job together.
You know Dario better than most. How do you think he'll be assessing this second place? Because this, in effect, is his first chance at IRL because of the injury he had last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think he did the sensible thing last year. You know, he knew that he had a problem with his back, and if he had another accident, you know, there was a risk of doing serious damage. So he did the smart thing. He got it looked after and took his time coming back. And you know, he's been quick all year. Today's his first decent result of the season, but you know, he knows in himself that he can do it, and the team knows he can do it. And you know, I think this will hopefully be a springboard for later on in the year.
The commentators were talking about Buddy Rice and saying it's amazing how much a win can give you confidence, especially a win in the 500. How will this second place have an effect on your old housemate?
Well, I think you know, he'll definitely be looking forward to the next race. You know, you're only as good as your last result in this sport, so second place is good, but he wants to win, and he knows that he was quick enough today to do that. So you know, that if the team goes to the next race and they're as dominant as they were today, he'll be a happy guy.
Looking ahead to 2 weeks' time, Richmond, Virginia, is there a pattern emerging? Because if there is, I'm blowed if I can see it.
Well, the pattern is at the moment that Honda clearly have the domination. However, the next race is our shortest oval of the season, just 3/4 of a mile, and the engines will be somewhat different for that because you don't have any long straights there for pulling. So that may throw up any number of differences in both the engines, which one's best or not, and also in the drivers, because some guys go very well on the short ovals.
Okay, let's have a quick word now with Alex Band.
So obviously we had a gearbox problem in qualifying, but we worked up. When I was patient, I needed to be, and it worked out. We had 3 awesome stops, got us good track position, and had some good restarts. So there at the end, I was able to, guys get bunched up, I was able to go on the outside and pick off a couple at a time. And there at last, I think guys were running too wide behind me, and I just followed the draft, and we turned the car up a little bit and ended the race in 3rd, so it turned out good.
2 things about the post-race interviews here. They happen like that, and the guys don't look as though they've been for anything more than a walk in the park.
Well, being a team manager, or have been team manager, I think racing drivers have an easy job. They sit down for a couple of hours. There's not a lot of effort into it, but I'm sure Johnny will build on that theory.
Well, I'd have to agree with you for ovals. I mean, it's really, it's not physical at all. You know, a road course, you do get a very big workout, but on an oval, you know, it's virtually just sitting there and turning the wheel. There's not a lot of effort involved.
Well, talking of workouts, it's very nearly time for me to jog home. Another great finish here at Texas Motor Speedway. Congratulations to our winner, Tony Kanaan. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, again under floodlights, with round 6 of the Indy Racing League. That's the SunTrust Indy Challenge from the Richmond International Raceway in Richmond, Virginia. You can see it live here on Sky Sports in the early hours of Sunday morning, June the 27th, starting at midnight on Sky Sports 2. We'll see you there. In the meantime, it's thanks to my guests Paul and Johnny, and to you for watching. We'll leave you now with some of tonight's action. Goodbye for now.